Hello YouTube. So what I have here for you today is a really nice microphone arm that you can mount to your desk using this big clamp, and it comes with a pre-attached cable. These are XLR connectors you use for professional audio equipment, for professional microphones and so on. My microphone actually has this connection, but I don't want to use it. I want to use a good old USB cable so I can connect this microphone or the microphone I'm using. I'm not connecting this mount, I'm connecting the microphone. I can connect this to my laptop or perhaps even my smartphone and use it to record my videos, and perhaps also use it for home office. You might have heard about that. Could be useful to have a good microphone around and a good camera. So I'll try to get this cable out of this arm today and get a new USB cable in. The only problem is that I might have to cut the USB cable and reconnect it in a way where I don't disturb the USB signal too much, or the USB cable might stop working. And if I do all the work putting this cable through this microphone arm, it really should work. I don't want to put a cable in there and not have it working. So I think I will just begin, clean up the table a little bit and try to figure out how to get this mount open. So there's a spring inside here which is connected to a flat metal strip that goes through the whole that goes through the whole arm and ends down here and is fixed with the screw. So there's a lot of tension on there, but I think when I open this arm starting here, there is a little metal piece that doesn't allow the arm to open completely. And I think when I remove it and open the arm completely up, so more than this, I think the spring might not be under tension anymore. So I'll start here. Just a thumb screw. And a screw with a funny head. Oops. And this metal piece. And now you see the last couple of millimeters are not under tension anymore. The rest is on a really hard tension, but this not. So there might be a chance that I now can remove the screw on this end without any force. So let me just grab a screwdriver. And I have here a nice one in a toolkit all you might be familiar with, but I don't want to use the name of it. I don't have a sponsorship. so then I don't have to. Ooh, there is a part of the arm just falling down. It's dangling down at the moment. Okay, so there's a metal screw. There's this metal plate. This is the spring, or at least it's a metal piece that is used to transfer the force of the spring. I think the spring itself will be in this part of the arm. Ooh, and there's a lot falling apart here. So in this arm, ooh, this is nice. See that? There is a metal shim that is where it's like a bushing. It's so when you move the arm, the plastic is not rubbing on the other plastic piece. It's rubbing on this metal shim, and I think there's a little bit of grease on it. Is there? Perhaps a little bit. So, and the original cable that's in here is coiled one time around. Okay, so I have to do this with my cable too. And then there is this piece. I'll call it the head, where the microphone is mounted. There's also a little bit, I don't know if you can see this, a little bit of grease in the metal piece. Nice attention to detail. So on this end, the cable goes in a loop around this plastic piece, and I think that's done to give it a little bit of to fasten it in place so it doesn't move around too much when you use this arm. So it's just held in place by hanging it around this plastic piece. Oh, and on the bottom I added a screw. So on this end the cable is held in place by a screw. So we need to get that screw out. Okay, as far as I can see, I should be able to get this cable out there. Okay, there's still a little problem. I have this big connector on there, and this connector will not fit through this metal pipe where the microphone arm is made from, and it will also not fit through the holes where the cable is fed through. So okay, this connector is not molded onto the cable like a lot of connectors are today, like these USB connectors. They are molded onto the cable. You can't remove them. You can't repair them. They are just one piece with the cable. But I think this connector can be taken apart. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff in there. Is there? So there's a strain relief. Yeah, strain relief. That was the word I was searching for this loop. That's made like a strain relief. So, and there's something grabbing on the cable? No. Ah, I'm pulling out the complete connector. So, there's the connector. The inner piece of the connector. I think this end here, that was compressed when this end piece was screwed on there, and it grabbed into the cable. So I'll just need to fire up my soldering iron and get this connector removed. So we can pull the cable back, and perhaps we can cut the USB cable to length and tape it to this end, or perhaps solder it to this end, but I think taping it to this end should be enough, and pull it through the arm while we pull this cable out. Heat up quicker. I think the soldering iron is hot enough. So how can I do this on my table? Something to hold this in place would be nice. Okay, I found something to hold this in place. Small vise. Okay, not so small, but yeah. Okay, it's a small vise. So don't press on the connector too hard or it will be broken. And I think I could one day make use of this connector. One day. Maybe. Nice. So I'll put this together that we don't lose the parts. Yeah, that was the right way. There are the other parts. Oh, let me turn the soldering iron off. It's a little bit noisy. It's a nice soldering iron, but it's a little bit noisy. Okay, and it's windy here in Germany today, so you hear the roof rattling around. Nice. Can use this connector later. And now I won't lose this connector because it's fixed to the cable. Now to this part. What length do we need you? So it went through the arm. I think that length should be enough to mount it to the microphone. Okay, the cable needs to go through the arm, needs to coil around here. Get down here and out. So a little bit of feel length. I don't know how it translates to English, but in German it's called an Angstmeter. So I can make my connection, make my whatever it's called in English. And if this connection is not good enough and the signals don't pass well enough so that the USB connection doesn't work anymore, I will just go to this end and fix an USB hub here. So I'll have a fresh USB signal to get the best signal integrity. Okay, so this length should be enough. Oh, I don't like to do this, but I'll cut it here. Ooh. I hope it was the right end. Then shall I glue it here, or shall I pull the cable out and try to get it in myself? If I pull it out, it's too late. So I might just get a little bit of sticky tape and add it on there. Doesn't work as expected. Doesn't really look like the right tool for this job, does it? Okay, this looks not like a connection you can really pull on, but I hope it's enough to get the cable through. Okay, how do I get this cable out there? And how can I do this in a way where you have a chance to see what I'm doing? It's not getting through that hole easily. But the USB cable is smaller, so it will be easier for the USB cable than it is for the XLR cable. Go through here. Yeah, done. Just how long was the end for the microphone? I can't see where it was. Oh, sure, it was clamped down here. So need a little bit more. A little bit more. So this was the original length, I think. So let me just grab a cable tie and then I can fix this in place. Here's a cable tie. I think even with the cable tie in place, this will be too small. Jumps through the hole. Or maybe not. Yeah, it's held in place fairly decently. So then we can proceed pulling the cable through. Oops. So there's our loop again, now with the USB cable, not the XLR cable. And now for the other part. Ooh, that's not pulling. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm really glad that I fixed the USB cable to the XLR cable, because this seems not to go through easy. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm not sure with the camera. So there is the end coming that's connected to the USB cable. And I hope that the Captain tape doesn't rub off, or I'll lose the USB cable inside of this mount. Oh, I hope I have enough USB length. Yeah, there is the end coming, and we are through. Just need to make the same loop into the USB cable that was here before. Let me just remove the XLR cable from the USB cable. Okay, we have the XLR cable gone. Here it is. And we have the USB cable in. So before I'll solder the other end to the USB cable, I'll just quickly rebuild this connection point here, because I don't like to have this metal strip bend so much, because I'm a little bit afraid it might break. And also I think I should now just get the cable correctly positioned and try to bend the arm, build it up again and bend it, and see if the cable is placed correctly or if something hangs and we have to correct for something which I haven't foreseen yet. So in this position, the coil should be the smallest, because this is the longest way for the cable to go. And in this position, the coil should be the biggest, because that is the shortest way for the cable to go. So we need to make sure that the cable coil fits inside here in this position. So we have the coil going around on the outside of this channel. Then it should be enough, and also short enough to not catch anywhere in this construction, in this microphone arm, whatever you want to call it. So now we have one coil in, and when we build it up, that should give us a working microphone arm. Okay, these thumb screws were all on one side of the microphone arm, but when I see these parts, they are kind of symmetrically. So they have one square hole and one round hole, but they are not constructed in a way that it would hinder you to put them this way on the microphone arm or this way on the microphone arm. So you can decide yourself if you want the thumb screw on this side or on the other side. So for now I'll just put it in place like it was before. So I'll need to get this square hole up, and then the thumb screw will go on from down here. But I just noticed I'll have to fix the spring arrangement in place before, because I need to get this arm in this position, and with this metal piece on there I can only open it to around, let me put this in place, to this position, and then the spring is under tension. So let me just fix the screw fix the spring in position again. Has the spring gotten shorter? Ah no, there's the hole. So I can put it under tension just a little bit to get this metal piece in position. So there are two holes on this metal piece, or this spring extension. I don't know. It's just like a wire to pull on for the spring, I guess. So I'll make this bump here go into the bottom hole of this metal piece, and there is actually in this piece here a hole to line with that, and then I'll just need to get the screw in here. Here's my screwdriver with a proxy drive bit, or no, it's a Phillips bit, but it's a proxy drive screw. Oh man. So there's the screw, screw jumped off. Okay, try to get the screw in there with my hand somehow. And screw it down. Okay, so this end is fixed in place again. So when I now bend this, I get spring action, I get tension. I can put this piece on here again. But now to get this in this slot here, I need to tension the spring. So, and now it's in place. Let's get a screw in there. Well, quite in place. Yes, now it's in place. And there the memory card was full. So let me just add the washer and the thumb screw. And we have the hinge done. Let me just test this again. So the hinge works. I don't feel the cable hanging somewhere or getting stretched. Not even the loop we have up here is getting smaller or wider when I move the arm. So I think the position of our USB cable is good. So we can proceed with putting the microphone mount end or the head of the microphone arm, or however you would call it, on here. So the upper end or the head of the microphone arm is done. So we can proceed with the cable we have to fix now, because we just cut through it. Don't know why we did that. So let me just start by removing the outer plastic shell from this cable. Just with a knife, cut a little bit into the plastic, and you can rip it off. Nice and easy. We have shield, we have shield wires, we have a shield foil. Yeah, and this is just a straightforward USB cable or USB 2.0 cable. You have two power wires, which are red and black, and you have two data wires, which are white and green. Same thing goes for the other side. So I'll just shorten one of the ends a little bit so that the shielding is in proportion, or I don't know how to say it, but this makes the shielding a little bit longer. And so that when I have connected these wires, put heat shrink around it, all this gets a little bit thicker, and I'll need a little bit longer shield to get around that. So I'll just start by stripping a little bit of the insulation from these wires, and then I'll pre-tin the ends. on this USB cable is in the way. So I'll add a little bit of, let me get this in focus. I'll add a little bit of heat shrink to every cable. So we can make sure that after soldering and putting the cable together in a nice pack, we can make sure that the connections don't short against each other. And if we want to have the cable looking nice, we should put a bigger heat shrink on this part of the cable before we solder the wires together. Or we won't be able to get this heat shrink on the cable anymore because there's a big fat connector on the other end. And I think that won't fit. Okay, what I have prepared here are two heat shrink tubings. One is a standard heat shrink tubing you all might be familiar with. The other one is a little bit special because you might not be able to see it, but it is coated with glue on the inside. And I prepared it in a way where the not coated heat shrink tube is longer than the coated one. So I used them a couple of times, the coated ones, and I noticed that every time there is a little bit of glue, or sometimes a lot of glue, being squished out on the ends, and it doesn't look nice. So for today, I've just thought I'll try to get a cleaner look by putting a not glue coated heat shrink tubing above the coated one. So let me just start. First I'll need to put the not coated one over the cable. Then the coated one. Then the 4 little pieces. And now I can start trying to solder everything in place without shrinking the heat tubing, or I'll have problems getting it over the solder joint. Okay, where is my solder? There's my solder. Now, how do I get around all those cables? So the green cable is done. Perhaps I can just turn it around and magically bosons align now. Okay. I need more hands, but I only have 2. 2 left ones, maybe. And the next heat shrink fell off. Nice. It's getting easier. Not my nicest solder joint. Is it even in focus? Maybe. Somehow I got all cables in position. Now it's time for heat shrink tubing. Let me just get these pieces in position. And shrink them. Nice. This looks really good. Now we can try to reconnect the shield. I'm not really sure if I can solder the shield because it looks like not only the foil is made of aluminum, but also the wires. So it might be that they can't be soldered. But let's just see. So I shortened the 4 wires of the USB connection, but it still looks like that the shield is too short to be soldered together. Oh man, this will be a poorly shielded cable. Might just be long enough. These wires don't feel like they are made of copper. Yeah, but they take solder. So there might be a chance to solder them together. So that is connected. Let me turn it around. So I can work on the other side. Why is my soldering iron so noisy? I hear it humming all the time, and I guess you hear it too. Yeah, it kicked in again. Okay, this looks somehow connected. Can't believe it, but not really nicely shielded. It's only one-sided shield, a little bit. So I know there are problems if you combine copper and aluminium, but I think I'll just grab a little bit of copper foil and put it around there. So this here is quite expensive stuff. This is copper foil with conductive glue under it. So I'll just cut a piece of this special tape and glue it on our now reunited USB cable pieces, and hope that this will make the shield complete again and not corrode the aluminum away, because I think copper and aluminum are not the best friends. Perhaps the glue makes them friends. At least it will for karma complete the shield again. So this now looks quite nicely shielded. So I'll put the sticky heat shrink tubing on there, and then put the normal heat shrink tubing on there. And there you might be, if we are in focus, we are not in focus, we are really not in focus, and there you might be able to see it. The glue is starting to squish out of this heat shrink tubing. And this makes very nasty ends, nasty looking at least. So when it is finished shrinking, I'll just put another piece without glue on there, and the nasty gluey parts will not be visible again. So there comes the not sticky heat shrink. So with the new connection now covered up really nicely in multiple layers of heat shrink tubing, this should be a good connection. Might even be watertight. Only the other parts of the USB connector aren't watertight, so please don't try it. And we have here a new, a nice microphone arm, now with a USB instead of XLR cable running through it. So I hope you found this tutorial interesting and might give it a thumbs up. And if you can make use of this tutorial because you have a microphone arm and you are modifying it for yourself, for a USB cable or another cable or whatever you like to run through it, just put it down into the comments. And I hope I see you again on my next video. And if you're lazy and don't want to go to the gym, you might perhaps start training with your new microphone arm training device. Okay, doesn't take a lot of effort, so you might still need to go to the gym. Bye.